Moonlighting. Yeah, that looks actually pretty good.
I don't know, I look dark.
Alright, so
whatever.
everything seems to be working except for Torch.
Alright.
Well, Torch, he won't be on this
That's right.
cam, he'll be on XSplit.
Yeah.
You can't use
Makes me want
webcam twice at once.
Makes sense.
Does the stream look better now? I turned it up.
Actually, I had to close it out for a second.
You know, someone else is gonna have to check it tonight to cut it down so you guys as much bandwidth for me as you could.
Could you actually get it so you get my good side?
Still open.
So I'm gonna assume that Big J is lighting us up again. I think I just saw smoke go across the middle of the screen. Is either smoke or aerosol.
Pre-game.
I don't know which one it was, smoke or aerosol. Which one was it?
Where'd Big J go?
Right here.
I thought he died.
I'm sure our imagination could suffice.
I like how Big J just slides in. He's like,
I'm used to it.
Now we just see someone like come down from the top
crazy.
like Mission Impossible style. Be like,
I don't know how to fuck you up.
And then they fail epically and say, missed it by that much.
Do you want to
No,
start
what you
on
guys?
Yeah, let's see, everything seems to be going decent here. I'm actually staring at the screen instead of looking at our little chat thing. So,
I think
this is the
turn
first
the stream
trial
up
run
out
of
loud.
the Infinity Project.
I think you should turn the stream up out loud. You look a little laggy to me. Yeah. If I got the stream up and you look laggy on the stream to me.
Bam!
Wait, who should do what?
Done. Consider it done. Now I feel like I'm faster. Oh, this is so creepy.
The sweet shit.
you guys are jealous of the chairs.
Alright, so we ready? We all ready? I've got my creepy little Carhartt on.
Oh.
I feel like I
that face.
What?
almost would feel like I'm one of those like Asian news affiliates. Everyone else is here in the States, and I'm over here in Norway. Hello.
Here we
I
are
help
in
you from Norway.
hurricane.
And now to
over
Ollie
here.
And now to Ollie Williams for the weather. It's raining.
Thanks, Alex.
Want to buy this token?
And now to Ollie Williams at the airport. I'm at the wrong airport.
Alright, so let's get this thing started. Oh, flick on the nose. Okay, so, trial run of the Infinity Project. Took us a couple seconds to get this to go together, but basically, I'm going to kind of divide it into three parts. The first part is all of the major things going on in StarCraft right now. So let's start with that. For example, a lot of tournaments happened in the last week or so. So if there's anything anyone wanted to note that was impressive or something that they would recommend for people to view, because I know I watched a set between Idra and Puma at, I think that was, which one was that? The IAM one that they had? That was just nuts.
I know, there was a game, it was a PvZ, I think. Me and Dark Daddy watched it in the IPL. It was like 45 minutes long, was an hour long or something like that.
Yeah. Kiwikaki and Stefano?
Yeah, it was when Kiwi got knocked out. It was like game 2 of their best of 3 or something. It was like an hour and a half long, and there was motherships and fucking carriers, and it was nuts. It was everything. And my phone's ringing.
I think...
Shut up, shut up!
I think like the last 15 minutes of that game, Big J and I were watching it, and we're both like, oh, I'm pretty sure Kiwikaki's gonna win. No, Stefano's gonna win. No, Kiwikaki.
Well,
like, he went back and forth.
He had a roving pack of fucking stalkers and void rays and everything. He just run in, drop down like the 5th, knock the 4th down, then get mass recall out. It was crazy.
Yeah, I definitely want to take a look at that. I've been busy doing a couple of things, but yeah, that seems cool. I know the tournaments that are coming up. We have this weekend. We have MLG. In the future, we've got like I think IAM 56 is tomorrow.
MLG Orlando should be starting shortly, I believe, in what, like 4 days.
We've even got a few of our Infinity members going to Orlando. I know Tubby's going.
Yeah, we'll give a big shout out to that. Yeah, that's in the later part. We really go in depth with that because that's pretty cool. Let's see. I don't know if anything stands out, if there's any kind of pro player that you think has done the best overall. Just give him a shout out. We could start with Pandora.
Well, you gotta start with me. Well, to be honest, since I haven't really been able to watch but so many streams, I'd like to actually. I really don't know who to give a shout out to be honest. I've been watching a lot of. I guess I give one to Trump. I have been watching his stream a lot lately and a lot of his VODs. Probably watched a total of like 24 hours of his videos, trying to get better at a TVT and TVZ standard. But yeah, he's been doing really well and he's been helping me a lot. So might as well give a shout out to him.
Cool. You got anything that was worth noting, Torch?
No, just MLG Orlando. I think Tubby's going. I know there's some other guys, but MLG Providence, I think like half the clan's gone.
Oh, that would be sick. If I can get out to that, that'd be sick. I think jump into either Big J or Dark Daddy. Anything that you, besides that, what did you say those two were? It was
Kiwikaki and Stefano and their game 2 in the IPL 3.
Cool. So, yeah, along those lines, I think one person that I was reading up about, there's this guy from Europe, Nerchio, I think his name is. He was like hitting up every single tournament and winning 13, or at least getting in the top 3 at 13. He didn't enter in any major tournaments, but he won over $4,000 just this last couple of weeks.
That's awesome.
Nice.
However, Idra goes ahead and these are like worldwide tournaments. He's from Europe, like I said, so also Idra winning IEM, he actually kind of outclassed him with like one tournament, but still. A lot of he's moving up there. He's kind of, the only person that's been close was like Demaga.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Rocket actually came close to passing Idra on the ladder.
Well, hell, it's about time.
Yeah, at one point he was like 20 points away from him.
Yeah, Rocket's
like 40th and 43rd
right now. Yeah, he's like 66 right now on the ladder.
Big ups to him. So that was just kind of the starting point that I wanted to go into. Now that we've kind of jumped into it, the middle part of the segment's probably going to be the one we spend the most amount of time on, and let's try not QQ so much about balance, but how things have kind of changed for the races. Now, I always like to start with Taryn right off the bat, so Pandora, I'm going to go to you first again. The reason I do that is because Taryn kind of has set the standard for a lot of strategies, so I want to see your intake on this. Try and stick away from one base all-ins, but...
I see what you did there. To be honest with the change in the racks timing, it might be insignificant to a lot of people, but it has changed the standard to the fact that one base all-ins and timings for your orbitals and amongst other things have become a little bit harder to cope with, I guess you could say, because that 5 seconds on your orbital is actually really significant to the point where it almost makes you want to do a 16 orbital instead of a 15.
Because, while you're going for that orbital, you can't even produce any SCVs, so it kind of pulls you back a little bit.
Yeah, that 5 seconds will actually be better in the time making the SCV to delay your orbital by another 10, just to get it out in time to put down to get the other worker and the orbital up. Kind of boosts up your, I guess it's personal preference. But the Hellion nerf, I really never used Blue Flame Hellion drops. I found them rather cheap and cheesy in that point of view. Did help the fact you would kill the other person's mineral lines, but now it makes it to the point where it's better to get +1 for all your mech instead of getting Blue Flame for just your Hellions. It's cheaper and it is more cost effective in the long run.
Alright, anything else that you'd want to throw in there? Because I know you kind of evaded the TVP matchup.
Well, the PvP in itself has changed utterly since with the Rax timing makes it a little bit harder to do a 2 Rex expansion or a little bit of a 3 Rex timing push. But with the Immortal range being buffed up to 6, definitely makes it a lot harder to do anything against a Protoss that has anything that has any armor that says armor at the bottom. It's pretty much dead.
This has been proven.
You've got a mobile siege tank. It's not fair.
Alright, well, we got plenty of advice. Thanks for sharing that. That's because I didn't know a couple of those things. Someone who I haven't talked to too much, Dark Daddy. Tell me a little bit about how you're feeling with Zerg.
In terms of what? Like, what do you know I'm feeling?
Well, kind of similar to how Pandora split it up. Like, how are you feeling about certain matchups? What do you think is going well for Zergs? What do you think you have realized that just isn't working anymore that used to?
Infestors don't work as well.
I think that's probably it. Jump on that right away.
I think everyone's happy about that.
Yeah, can we get an amen?
George, you got anything to say about that?
Amen.
Now, there's an about damn time.
George, you have anything to add? Because I know you're a Zerg player as well.
Yeah, ZVZs, it didn't change it really at all, because no one ever used Narrow Parasite. There's a couple times I used Narrow Parasite, and I would Narrow Parasite the other infestors, and then use the other person's infestors to turn. And that's pretty fun to do, but and with that range you could do that, but now you can't do those kind of cutesy little shitty things. But like ZVP, I don't really use infestors anymore.
No, I don't use them anymore either.
I mean, I'll get like I just played my last game before we got on the show, and I did like 6 infestors, a ton of mutas and blings upgraded, and I did he harassed me with phoenixes, and he had like 10 of them, and I used my mutas and my infestors to fungal growth and to fucking rape the shit out of the phoenixes, and it was really cool. Like, I had like a oh shit moment where the light bulb goes off and I'm like standing up like this, like, you know, in the Captain Morgan pose. And dude, I am ready. I'm going to use some infestors now, really, because for the phoenixes, it's just rape. So, and then ZVT, I don't know.
Just mass blings.
Yeah, mass blings, and mutas is kind of where I'm at right now with that matchup.
All right, so that kind of wraps up a bit about Zerg. Anything else to keep you about Pandora?
Well, I was actually about to ask Torch if since the Rax timing, have you seen a lot of people do the 2 Rax bunker rush still, or no?
Yes.
Yeah, you know, you still have kids that will do the 2Rax bunker timing. I actually don't mind it so much.
It's a lot easier to defend now.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to defend, and to tell you the truth, I actually love when Terrans do gas first, or, you know, gas kind of in the middle of the racks type of thing, and I know that they're going some type of attack, because, dude, you can actually get in a 16 hatch, a 15 pool, and then a 17 proxy hatch all at once before you get queens, before you get lings, before you get spines, before you get anything, and you can get away with it. And
because they're OP.
Yeah. Well, if you didn't have your win button, then...
Well, hold it. If I'm not mistaken, it wasn't just less than a week ago, like maybe 2 to 3 days, that Torch was like, teach me how to play Terran. I want to switch.
But then I realized that it was a cop-out. I was going to make it too easy on myself.
Yeah, I think the Rex timing delay or whatever, it's just like when they delay the 4-gate. The 4-gate's still viable, but it's not as effective. Just like any kind of early bunker stuff's not as effective, but you can still do it.
Right.
Well, on the subject of stuff like the 4-gate, Big J, jump into, since you're a Protoss player, jump into what you think has happened not only with the 4-gate in general, but also how the races interact from your perspective.
I don't know. Generally, I get raped by Terran because Terran sucks.
Join the club.
I think everyone has that problem, though.
The only person that doesn't get raped by Terran is Terran.
Yeah. PvPs, they're kind of a coin flip for me. I mean, if you get, like, somebody who's shitty and doesn't scout you quick, you can Korean 4 or something, and that's all fun. But normally, I mean, it just ends up going either somebody goes 4-gate or somebody goes 3-gate robo, and if you both go 3-gate robo, and just whoever gets more immortals and pushes sooner wins.
That's unfortunately what works with a lot of mirror matchups. In ZVZ, you see a lot of Speedlings and Banelings. In Terran, you see a lot of Marines and Siege tanks. In Protoss versus Protoss games, you deal with a lot of shenanigans with either 4-gate versus 4-gate or a bunch of Stalkers and Immortals.
Yeah, I feel in the 4-gate versus 4-gate, the person who's on defense tends to win if he can break the contain in a timely fashion.
I think a big thing is if you can prevent like